All right, welcome back, everybody. This is going to be a very long video. I apologize for it in advance because I'm going to be talking about a lot of things regarding Shadow Swordsman in this video. I'm going to show you my build so far with the update, a little bit of dummy test, a little bit of rotation talk, Inscribe stone talents, the usual stuff, but also some other questions that have been asked. I am currently being bombarded by the questions. I do appreciate them. It doesn't bother me at all. It's just that it takes me time to get back to everybody. So I'm gonna make this video and try to address a lot of the things, and also I will address things that I have addressed before. But for people who have not watched the older videos, I'm going to try to explain most of it, if not all of it, on this video. So first things first. Cunning's getting buffed, huh? Well, the thing is, they're actually kind of reverting what they had nerfed. They had nerfed the duration of the Inscribe stone. They had also nerfed the damage from the poison. They're giving us that back. And then they gave us one buff, which it's kind of hard for me to read it because the page is in Chinese, and when I translate it, it doesn't translate, or at least I don't understand what it means yet. Do I think this is enough to bring Cunning back? I don't, but maybe I'm wrong. So, yeah, just keep an eye out for that. But don't think that this is something that Cunning is getting, you know, for the first time. No, a lot of these things are things that got taken away from Cunning. And I remember mentioning on the Discord a long time ago when this happened that nerf felt unnecessary, because it's not like Cunning was running away with the damage meters in the first place. And then, I mean, you're nerfing a spec as soon as we hit level 40, or at least around that time. So for me, it was like, bro, you're not even letting us get to our 8 set, and you're already nerfing Cunning. Come on, man. Let's lay off of that for a moment. But yeah, let's keep going with the video. Gear wise, I'm currently at 53.6%. I think I'm not sure whether I want to go down or whether I want to stay or whether I want to go up on crit yet. Because on one end, I want to get value from Crush. On the other end, maybe it's time to drop Crush. Crush has gone down in value for me, because the reason why Crush before was not even a debate for me, and I considered it my most valuable emblem by far, was because when we were in 100 gear level, I could plant at 47% crit, and then I would drink a potion, get to 48%, and Crush would take care of the rest. That was super valuable for me. But now we are blowing past 50% crit, so I'm not sure if I want to go down on crit and try to get to 19% cooldown and then 11.4 on Omni, which maybe isn't the play, or just accept the fact that I have a lot of crit and maybe still play Crush because maybe there's nothing better, or start playing around with other emblems and see if I find a replacement for Crush. I'm still not sure on anything of what I just mentioned, by the way. It's just something that I want to throw out there. Because I love Crush, but I have to admit it is not as valuable right now as it once was. So 6.8% Omni, 19% cooldown, basically 20% cooldown. So I'm currently a 5, 1, 2 build on the shadows, on the Duel Shadow Swordsman. Now let's see my aptitudes. Well, first off, yeah, I'm hovering over the stats. I already talked about that. I will also hover over my resonance, which is 100.3%, as you can see there. This is achieved by boosting all of your, by grabbing 3 points in all of your nodes in your Inscribe stone, boosting the 2 middle nodes by 100%, and then empowering some of your gear pieces with resonance. So let me go back a little bit here. Now, every piece I have has Furious Attack, as you can see. So yeah, this is a very strong character. You're going to see Furious Attacks across the board. You're going to see plenty of crit that is at 210. And that's why I am considering maybe going 140 on those pieces and then getting 210 Omni or 210 cooldown. But I don't know. I'm unsure on that. Also, before I get into the talents, I 100% go for energy savings over haste on the badges. So I did not loot the haste badge from Gemini. I got my badge from Arcane Realm, the one that you saw. And then I'm going to get my energy savings badge when I clear Archdruid, when it comes out. So as far as the talents go, here is my typical setup. I've been running this for like a week now. I absolutely love it. I don't see myself changing it. About 2 points in assault. This is going to reduce, well, your auto attacks are going to reduce the cooldown on assault. This is mainly why you pick this talent. This first sentence that says assault deals 10% more damage, you do not care about this at all. What you care about is the second sentence. Upon impact, the second hit of a base attack has a 66.6% chance to reduce the remaining cooldown of assault by 13%. That's really good. It's going to make you have more assault charges, which means you're going to be able to well, move the roulette, proc your weakness, and reduce the cooldown on your furious attack because of Gift of the Opportunity talent. Okay, so this is really good. Now, why don't I run 3 points here? Because I never am in need of charges when I'm fighting bosses. Never. That means that if I'm taking this point, it's because I want the 5% increased damage and assault, and I do not want that. I do not care about it at all. Next talent, Swift Strike. This is, I think, some people like playing Spectral. I dislike it because I can manage the roulette a lot easier with Swift Strike. And then I'm taking 5 points here. Why? Because it increases the damage in Swift Strike, and it's going to make sure that you move 2 spots rather than 1. Next talent is going to make sure that you have 2 charges of Swift Strike. That is really good because you get more mobility on your roulette. Gift of the Opportunity. I take 2 points. A lot of people take 3. I take 2 because I don't see myself getting more furious attacks off during fights when I have 3 points. So if the third point isn't getting me to cast more furious attacks, then I'm wasting a point there. At least me. It may be different for other people, but this is what I have found in my fights. So I'm taking that point off. I don't need it. 15% increased damage in furious attack is not debatable. 3 points in execution talent, not debatable. Evade is a talent that I keep at 2 out of 2 normally, but if the fight demands 3 points in Best Apprentice, I will take 1 point away from Evade and put it on Best Apprentice. This is a talent that a lot of people have 2 points or 1 point in, and then they drop those points over on Gift of the Opportunity or Assault. Again, I explained why I only run 2 there, so the 2 extra points that I get, I can drop them over here. The way that I look at it as far as Assault versus Zealous Pursuit is very simple. The 1 point is either going to give me 5% increased assault damage or 5% increased furious attack damage. That one is very easy for me to decide, because every time I frenzy throw, I'm getting at least 1 furious attack off, and every time I burst, I'm getting 3 furious attacks off. So it's a lot of value. Now in the other point on Gift of the Opportunity, you can maybe stay at 3 if you feel like you're getting more furious attacks off, and then just stay at 2 here. That's fine. That's not an issue. Sustained Seal. Everybody knows by now that this is the talent that we hate and love at the same time, because if it's up, we're doing good. If it's not up, we're doing bad. Frenzy Throw, this talent right here, this is really good. This is going to make our Frenzy Throw last 2 seconds longer. And it is also going to reduce the cooldown by 12 seconds. Now, this is this is something that's made me think whether when you get to 26% cooldown, would you be willing to only have 1 point in this talent, or maybe even take both points off, even though it sounds so wrong? But because I'm not at 26% cooldown, I can't test anything yet. So I can't really tell you accurately how it behaves or what's going to happen. This is just something that whenever I do end up at 26 cooldown, if I decide to go all the way up there, then I will test it. If I don't think it's worth going up there, then it's whatever. I will just stay with this current build. Best Apprentice, as I said, I normally go 2 points because it synchronizes perfectly with my 6 and my... Well, it makes it so that my 6, 7, and 4 synchronize perfectly. And then, Thirst Battle. This is, well, talent is called Well Prepared. It's going to make, once you pop Thirst Battle, your next ability is 50% more likely to crit. And because we are at 50% crit or more, that means the ability is going to crit 100%. Which is why our opener goes the way that, 4, 2, 1, and then 6. So you make sure that you have 100% crit, and then you Furious Attack. You want to make sure that Furious Attack crits. Why? Well, number one, all of your aptitudes are dedicated towards Furious Attack. So you want to get that ability to crit because it is the ability that deals the most damage. Number 2, you want to begin with the Sustained Seal talent online, right? Let me hover over that talent real quick. Each crit hit of Furious Attacks increases the crit damage of your next Furious Attack by 100%. So as soon as you pull, you already have that talent online. Now, if it drops, it's unfortunate. It happens. Sometimes you have bad RNG. That's just how it is. Let me go back here real quick. All right, so yeah, that's why this talent is really good. And then the follow-up to the talent, you deal more damage and you have more haste. So that means that my build is a 5. So for those of you who have been asking me and don't know, when I say 5, I mean I have 5 breakpoints in this first icon on this column of the core passive, right? I have 5 breakpoints in the crit percentage icon. When I say 1 after 5, it means that the next icon, which is the Omni icon, is at 1. And then 2 is the cooldown icon. So right now I'm at 5, 1, 2. Okay. That's my current build. Now, this is very important, I feel like, for people to understand. I've been getting a lot of people telling me, hey, what about going for 2 in Omni, 2 breakpoints in Omni? The main thing that I want you guys to understand is that a lot of people misread this. So getting to this breakpoint is going to increase your Swift Strike damage. That's what the breakpoint does. I need you guys to understand this, right? I'm at 6%. So my Swift Strike now does 7% increased damage. That's all the breakpoint does for me. Now, what does Omni do for me in itself? Every percentage point, this right here. When Fierce Attack hits a weak spot, the damage dealt is increased by the Omni percentage times 100%. Enhanced with Omni, casting Furious Attack increases the damage of the next Swift Strike or Spectral Slash. Okay? When you get to the second breakpoint, all it's going to do for you, the breakpoint itself, is increase the damage of your Swift Strike by 17%. Okay? I feel like this is something that people need to understand. Getting more Omni is obviously good because it is going to increase your Furious Attack damage, but you don't have to force your way into the breakpoint because the breakpoint is huge. Oftentimes, the breakpoint is not that good. If you can reach the breakpoint, excellent. If not, then it's not like you're losing out on a lot. You're losing out on 10% Swift Strike damage. That's all there is to it. Okay? So please understand that. And then the one on cooldown, this one is actually really big. This one is really big. This one is going to change a lot of things if you go for that third breakpoint, which is why I am not sure if I am going for it, because it is going to mess up with the timings on our major cooldowns. I might stay at 2 here. I'm probably going to stay at 2. I was considering maybe messing around with a Swift Strike build with Swift Strike Aptitudes, but that's going to be too expensive for me to try it out. So I'm probably going to stay with Fierce Attack for now. Maybe way down the line, I'll mess around with Swift Strike and see what's up. But Fierce Attack seems too strong. Now, I think that the most important thing... Let's go to the Inscribe Stone first, but as far as the gear and the stats, I think the correct play, or this is what I'm going to do, I'm holding on to every gear piece I get until we get access to every 110 gear level piece, and then I'm going to look at what the situation is, and I am going to decide what I will do at that point. But for now, I'm holding on to everything, and I am not going to commit to anything. Okay, so Inscribe Stone. There's a lot to talk about here. This is where I get asked, I think, most of the questions. Okay, first things first, the emblems. I think High Energy Potion, Overload, and Intertwined Fates are emblems that everybody runs, so you want to run those 3. I run Crush. I said earlier in the video, I might drop it at some point. For now, I'm staying with it. For now. Now, if you get the rare attribute on Crush, all of a sudden Crush becomes really good, right? But even if you don't get it, I still think that it is more valuable than many of the other emblems. So let's talk about these emblems, right? Let's talk about Tribal Ode. I will only run that emblem if everybody in the raid group is running it, okay? So that's an emblem that you can take out and put in depending on the group. Let's talk about the damage emblems, right? Sprawl, Strive, Burst. I don't think they are good enough at this point, but if they are the ones that have the best attributes, like if they are boosting your upper left and your upper right nodes, and then okay, you can justify running them because there is no clear-cut 5th emblem for us. I see some players running Shatter. Shatter just does not convince me. I've tried it. I prefer high rolling on Warlike Surge, to be honest with you. I mean, we're high rolling anyways. That's the name of the spec. So I'm just gonna go for the ultimate high roll and play Warlike Surge. And then the other emblem is Luan's Wish. that emblem is going to cost too much gold for me to run it. Because that emblem is telling you you are going to use a burst potion every time you pop cooldowns. I'm not into that, brother. Like, I don't have that much gold. I'm at 14k gold, bro. I can't just be throwing gold around. If you guys have 100k gold and stuff like that, that's fine. You play your Loon's Wish and go at it. I cannot do that. I don't have that amount of gold. All right. So, that's it for the emblems, I think. Now, let's talk about this first core node. There have been plenty of people asking me whether I'm going 1, 2, or 3 levels. I'm going 1 level because I guess I figured I'd turn it on. We have enough points. That was my Discord. That wasn't yours. Don't worry about it. But here, am I going for 3 points? I don't think so. Why? This procs whenever it wants, number 1. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I don't ever, when I'm in fighting challenge mode bosses, when I'm doing progression on those bosses or whatever, I don't ever check my Fatwina stacks, because there are moments where you just have to go. Again, that's my Discord. That's people asking questions and stuff. So I apologize for that. But I never check my stacks when I'm fighting, because a lot of times you don't even get to decide whether you're going to wait for your cooldowns or not. So for example, Gemini is out right now, but we were just fighting Doctor, right? I cannot hold my cooldowns if the slimes are out. They have to die. So if my cooldowns are up, I press. They have to die. On a 100%. They cannot stay alive. We can wipe. I'm not going to wait. Same thing happens if Red Chimera spawns. Bro, if Red Chimera spawns and my cooldowns are up, I'm sending. I don't care about Fatwina stacks. That Red Chimera has to die. Same thing happens if the Green Chimera spawns. I'm not going to hold my cooldowns. I am sending. I am sending. So if there are moments where you can hold on to your cooldowns and wait for 15 stacks, then by all means go for it, as long as you don't lose a cooldown window in the fight. Be careful how long you are willing to hold your cooldowns. You do not want to lose a cooldown usage just because you decided to wait for your Fatwina stacks to reach 15, which by the way is RNG. They can take 10 seconds to go from 13 to 15. They can take 2 seconds to go from 13 to 15. You know what I mean? And if you're going to play around Fatwina, then you have to commit 3 points. Because if you only commit 1 point like I do, the buff lasts 6 seconds, which means you have to either pre-go on 14 stacks and hope that Fatwina, that the last stack procs when you're about to enter the burst, or you put 2 points, and then because it's going to last longer, now you can do 4, 1, 6, 7, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, and you're going to have enough time to do all that inside the buff. But now you're committing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points into this when you could get them invested somewhere else, which, to be fair, you're not gaining much anywhere else. So that's why I don't really care about any of the points that are left over right now, because nothing is really giving you a lot of damage that's going to make me, you know, nothing is wowing me at the moment. So that's what's going on with me and this core node. I don't think I'm ever going to play around it. I'm going to be honest with you. Like every time I fight bosses on challenge mode and I'm doing progression, I feel like, yeah, there's no way I'm waiting. You know, like stuff has to die, man. If you're fighting Blight Dragon and the Pyroat spawns or the prison is out, and you need to kill the Pyroad and the prison before lines, you're going to press your frenzy throw. You're not going to wait. If you need to burst a prison and a Pyroad with all of your cooldowns, which you can do, and then have it back up for the second knock, you're going to press it. You're not going to hold on to your Fatuina stacks, you know? Same thing goes with Spider. If you have to push the Spider to 70% before second Cocoon, right? You're pressing. You're not waiting for 15 stacks. Same thing in Spider when she spawns the spiders that put the eggs. Those have to die immediately as well. I'm sending. I'm not waiting for no stacks. Especially in a fight like Spider, where you have to be the one that pops first, or else you're gonna have your cooldowns. Half of your cooldowns aren't going to be used, and that feels terrible. That's gonna feel worse than waiting for Fatuina stacks. So if you want to run it, I do not blame you. I understand that it is a DPS increase if you wait for it and you are able to align it up. You know what I mean? Then that's great. I'm just saying I'm not going to do it because it's not significant enough for me. Okay? Now let's look at the Inscribe Stone. I had my crush previously on this left socket because I was boosting cooldown and crit. I moved it over here because I want to boost the Omni and test how Omni feels. So I'm doing that for now. Let me see how it feels. And then I moved my Intertwined Fates over here, boosting the crit node. And then, by the way, make sure you guys get 3 out of 3 in every resonance node. That is very important. Let's go up. Overload. Same overload. Upper left and upper right. High energy potion. Boosting cooldown and boosting this resonance node. And then Warlike Surge. Boosting the resonance node. Boosting this Dex node. I wish it would boost Omni because I really want to test the Omni out. And then yeah, 3 out of 3 in every resonance node. Try to get these two boosted to 100%. If you do that, you will get to 735 resonance. And then the way that you get to 100% resonance is by empowering your gear with resonance. I empowered my gear up to 100.3% resonance. And then that's where I'm going to stay for now, because it feels correct for now. Okay. So I think that we are ready to go into a dummy test. As always, I always do a dummy test. So let's once again go over the opener. 4, 2, 1, 6, 3, and then you alternate 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 until your 3 is up. If you do it correctly, your 3 will be up on the weakness spot and you will still have Thirst Battle up, so you will cast Furious Attack on the weakness spot. Oh, I don't have audio on this. All right. That's a little bit bad on my part. But yeah, 4, 2, 1, 6, 3, and then you go into 1, 2, 1, 2. Furious Attack is going to be up. I cast 2. I land on the weakness spot. This is going to be a Furious Attack inside Thirst Battle. Beautiful. And now we are going to make sure that every time our Furious Attack is up, like right now, you are at the weakness spot or 1 global away from the weakness spot. Try to get this down, guys. See how I already know my Furious Attack is going to be up in 3 seconds. So what am I going to do here? I'm probably going to do 1, 2, 3. You can also do 2, 1, 3. You can do any of those routes. I'm going to do probably 1, 2. Okay, I'm glad this happened. This is something that I want to change, and this is something that I need to change. I do not recommend doing what I did there. Okay? Look at this. Here, I would much rather wait and cast Furious Attack because I'm going to allow Crush to stack at least once. So it's going to increase the chance that I crit. By casting 5, see how Crush is not here? Casting 5 consumes your Crush. And that is really bad. Because you want Crush to be for your Furious Attack. See how it did not crit? Now maybe it wasn't going to crit anyways, but you want to increase the chance that it crits. So what I have learned is, I'm only going to start casting 5. Bro, 5, the more I play, the more I realize that this is borderline useless. I'm not gonna lie. Unless ads are out, right? This is just... it's so bad on single target. Now, I'm going to start casting it only when Furious Attack is like 8, 9, 10 seconds. You know, like after Furious Attacking, probably. Alright, so again, now we are moving along the roulette. So, every time, this is what I always do, guys. Every time I'm over here, I stop for a second. And I'm like, okay. This is the series of questions that you're going to ask yourself. First off, are my cooldowns about to be up? The answer is no. Second, is Frenzy Throw about to be up? The answer here is... it's about to be up, but maybe I'm going to greet this Furious Attack, which I always do. Question number 3 is, how many cooldowns, how many seconds left on the cooldown of my Furious Attack? If it's 5 or less, you are going to take your time coming over here. Because you want to make sure that you land over here and you Furious Attack and then you keep going. If it's higher than 5, if it's like 7 or 8, you can keep going and you're going to make it back in time if you know how to manage your Assault and Swift Strike charges. You're going to be back here in time for your Furious Attack. Okay, so here, what am I doing? 1, 2, and I'm staying there. 3, and see how Frenzy Throw is going to be up. But I don't really care about holding Frenzy Throw. You know why? Because you can hold Frenzy Throw for a pretty good chunk, and it's still going to align perfectly with your cooldowns. So I always greet this Furious Attack, and then what I do is I start using Assault. Why? Because Gift of the Opportunity is going to reduce the cooldown on Furious Attack. Once Furious Attack is at less than 8 seconds of cooldown, you can cast Frenzy Throw. Why? Because Frenzy Throw lasts 8 seconds. And because Frenzy Throw lasts 8 seconds and you are... if you're using the same build that I'm using, you are investing 3 points into Zealous Pursuit. That means you want to get a Furious Attack off during that window. So I'm over here waiting. See how I waited? Now I go for Frenzy Throw. And I'm going to make sure that I get 1 Furious Attack off in this window. That's a 61.7k Furious Attack, okay? That's really good. Now, once again, I was over here. I asked myself that same question. What is the cooldown on my 6, 7, not up yet? What's the cooldown on Frenzy Throw? I just used it. What's the cooldown on Furious Attack? 10 seconds. I'm speedrunning this. I'm speedrunning it. Now I'm here again. Question. How long on my cooldowns? They're not up yet. How long on Frenzy Throw? Not up yet. 5 seconds on Furious Attack. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to take it slow. I'm going to wait. Furious Attack and now go again. This, now, when I ask myself the question, are my cooldowns coming back up? Yes, they're about to come back up, which means I am not going to cast Furious Attack until my cooldowns are up. Okay? I'm going to move. I'm going to move. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to make it over here. I'm not going to cast Furious Attack. I'm waiting for my cooldowns. And now, as soon as my cooldowns are up, we are going. Frenzy Throw for 1, 6, 7, 3. 1. That was not good. 1, 1, 3. That was good. 1, 1, 3. That was good. Okay, so that was a pretty good window. Now, same thing. I mean, well, Furious Attack here is up, but this is part of the cooldown. Cooldown ends once right here. That's where it always ends for me. It always aligns up that way for me. But now we get back into it. Now we can speed run, and as I said earlier, you're going to make it back in time. That was a little late, but it's fine. And now, Frenzy Throw whenever Fierce Attack is on less than 8 seconds. Cast it. Make sure you get your Fierce Attack off. 54k. Nice. I'm casting 5 here. That's really what I want because it's not going to consume Crush later on. Now, again, you see that right there? That is one of the most important things I can tell you guys. This is one of the most important things. See how I'm staying here? So first off, a lot of people have told me I get stressed out in fights because I have to look at the roulette whether I'm on the weakness spot or not while I'm doing mechanics, while I'm trying to do damage, while there's a lot of chaos going on, and I default into just spamming 1 or 2. No. If you are ever in a position where you are just spamming 1 and 2 because you're looking at mechanics and stuff, just relax. Hold on. When you reach this point, every time you can pause and assess the situation. Right now, look at my buttons. Everything is on cooldown. What does that mean? I don't have to cast anything. Look, I'm not losing damage. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this. I don't have to cast anything. I am not losing damage because nothing is up. I need you guys to understand this because I get asked this a lot. Right now, I have 0 charges of Assault. I just got 1 charge of Swift Strike. Fierce Attack is on cooldown. Frenzy Throw is on cooldown. Blade of Chaos, I think is what this is called, is on cooldown. Thirst Battle is on cooldown. Inscribe Stone is on cooldown. There is nothing for me to press. So I'm not going to just press 2 because I want to press 2 and then 1 because it's up and then 2 because it's up. No. Relax. Take your time. Assess the situation. Figure out what you're going to do because you are not losing damage. You are not losing damage. The moment that you lose damage is the moment that you hold on to Furious Attack, the moment that you hold on to Frenzy Throw, the moment that you hold on to Thirst Battle, the moment you reach 2 charges on Swift Strike and you don't cast it, and the moment you reach 2 charges on Assault and you don't cast it, that is when you start losing damage. So don't get stressed out and then default into spamming 1 just because you want to do something. You are more than likely going to lose damage if you do that. So just take a step back, relax, do whatever mechanic you have to do, and then once again, see what's going on in the roulette, see what's going on with your cooldowns, and then keep playing. Because if you do this, eventually your practice will turn into muscle memory, and then you're just gonna, you know what I mean? Like, the more you play, the more you get used to it. It's gonna become second nature. So right now, you're gonna see me not do anything here. I'm not doing anything. Look at that. Nothing. Because I know I'm not losing damage. I'm just waiting. Okay? I even jumped for the style points. And now, I don't need to press it yet. See? I'm just taking my time. Obviously, this is a dummy test. But I promise you, you can do this in fights as well. Right? So once again, ask yourself the question. Are my cooldowns coming up? In this case, yes. What does this mean? I'm holding on. And I'm waiting for my cooldown window. Alright? Simple. Whenever they're up, I'm going. 4, 1, 6, 7, 3. That was bad. 1, 1, 3. That was really bad. 1, 1, 3. That was terrible. But yeah, Thirst Battle is still up. Now it's gone, but you always land. See how you always land on that weakness spot for the Furious Attack? That's why it's so good to alternate 1 and 2. Again, here we go. Am I gonna... Well, I probably should have done 2 into 3 there. But again, ask yourself the question. Are your cooldowns coming up? No. Is Frenzy Throw about to be up? Yes. So if Frenzy Throw is about to be up, now you have to ask yourself, can I cast it once it's up? Yeah. because Furious Attack is going to be up in less than 8 seconds. So now, what do? I press 2. Furious Attack is less than 8 seconds. Go for Frenzy Throw. Make sure you don't overcap on any of the Assault or Swift Strike charges. Make sure you cast your Furious Attack. That was really bad. No crits. And now, once again, ask yourself the question. How many seconds left? Now here, because we get a weakness proc, I can actually... Let me see if I do it. See, I'm doing it here. I'm pressing 2 and now I'm staying here. Oh my god, the dreaded 5 before Furious Attack. I need to stop doing that, man. It just consumes the crush stacks. Oh, the pain. Oh my god. I'm so bad. Alright. Let's try to get through this. So again, ask yourself the question. Cooldowns are coming up. I'm not pressing anything. Unless you want to greet it. But I don't think you should. Now, wait for the cooldowns. I'm pressing a 2 here for 1, 6, 7, 3. 65k, that's much better. Not great though. 96k is really good. Not the best, but really good. 63k. Okay, this was a good burst window. This is a good burst window. Again, that last Furious Attack in the weakness spot, as always, may ask yourself, can I keep going? Yes, because it's on more than 8 seconds cooldown. It's super long. But now I'm gonna stay. No, bro, I did it again. Oh man, look at that. Oh. It's so bad. I have to stop doing that. 100%. Dude, 5 is so bad. This button is so bad. I need to... You know what I need to do? I probably need to just remove the binding on this button. I think that's just what I need to do. Or something to get used to it. But see, look at this. Look at this. Let's just follow this right here. Again, I'm in this position, the 6th position. Cooldowns are not going to be up. Frenzy Throw is going to be up, and Fierce Attack is going to be less than 8 seconds by the time Frenzy Throw is up. So I'm just going to keep going through the roulette like nothing happened. Now we go for Frenzy Throw. Alternate 1 and 2. Don't overcap them. Make sure you get your Fierce Attack off. Super nice. Same thing. 7 seconds here. Okay, that was a good 5. I'm going to do 2... 3, nice. That weakness spot was really good. We're gonna keep going. And now, our cooldown's coming up. Yes, we're gonna hold. It's as simple as this. Just every time you reach this position, ask yourself that question. The series of questions that I just told you. Now, we're going for 1, 6, 7, 3. That was a good one. 1, 1, 1, 3. Oh, unfortunate. 1, 1, 3. Oh, yeah. It started out good, huh? It ended up poorly. It's all good, though. We go for a Fierce Attack here at the end. No crit. Nothing is coming up, so we're gonna keep, and we're gonna go through the roulette one more time. Now we're gonna slow down. Let's do a 2. Stay here. Go for a 3. No crit. Wow. This is turning into a rough one, huh? Frenzy Throw. Make sure Furious Attack is less than 8 seconds. Alternate 1 and 2. Don't overcap them. Go for the Furious Attack. Nice. Now I should do a 5 here. Please do a 5. Don't wait on your 5. Okay, that's good. It's not going to consume... I got a message here. Bro, don't open that. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, I remember this. I got invited. So I stopped here. I remember stopping here. So I'm going to do this one last burst window, and then this should be over. 92k, really good. 94k, 95k, basically, really good. And then 90k, really good. So we finally got that one good burst window, and we're going to finish. Always see how that Fierce Attack always ends up in that weakness spot. Always ends up in that weakness spot, see? We do one more rotation, and then always ends up in that weakness spot. Really good. So that's pretty much a 7.9k pull. It's pretty much what I'm always around. Well, I normally do from 7.9 to like 8, maybe 8.1. So this is like on the lower end of my average pulls. But when you high roll, this is like 8.4, 8.5, maybe even 8.6, right? When you high roll. This was a 6 minute. Wow, this was 6 minutes and 7 seconds. So I went on for a little too long there. Now, again, Furious Attack, doing most of our damage. That's the way it should be. And I got 38 uses. Really good, really good. Pretty much the same breakdown as always, right? And this was a 6-minute test, so consistent damage. The last burst window saved the pull for us because it was being a very bad pull. But like, if you have a very bad pull and then you have one good burst window and it ends up being here, imagine what's going to happen when you have an average pull or a really good pull. This is going to spike all the way up to like 8.5. And then you factor in your potions, your burst potions, your potion basin, all of the raid buffs, execution phase. This is a lot of damage, obviously. So, yeah. Now, just one more thing for you guys. Make sure, these are just some pointers that I want to make sure you guys understand. You guys want to study the fights to see which talents you're going to run as far as how many points on Best Apprentice. And then when you are going to use your cooldowns. Because right now, the problem that I'm having when I speak to the players that ask me questions is that most of them are clearing Epic, right? And there's a big difference between Epic and Challenge mode. Mainly, in Epic, you can pretty much just send your cooldowns whenever you want and you're gonna get kills. In Epic, you have to really pay attention to when you are using your cooldowns, what needs your cooldowns, and whether you can actually just throw your cooldowns whenever they're up or you have to hold them and sacrifice some DPS for the good of the clear, you know? For example, when I was doing the progression on Doctor, I would normally have to hold my cooldowns for the red Chimera. I couldn't pop them on the blue Chimera, even though they were up. I had to hold on and burst the red Chimera. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to, if you really are interested in clearing fights and you find that the group is in a position where you're struggling to beat a certain DPS check, unfortunately, sometimes you have to sacrifice some damage and hold on to your cooldowns just to make sure that you are able to get through that part of the fight, right? That's what progression is about. So when I speak to you guys about studying the fight and knowing when to use your cooldowns, maybe this doesn't apply to you if you don't fight challenge mode and you're just interested in getting the epic clears and getting your gear and just moving on. That's fine. There's no problem with that. But right now, my main interest is fighting bosses on challenge mode because it's a challenge. So yeah, that's what I refer to when I mean study the fight and when you're going to use your cooldowns, right? And then the last thing is make sure you guys use your execution talent. I'm seeing many guys that send me certain fights or certain clips, and I've seen you guys bursting bosses at 29%, 28%. Try to hold on to when the boss is at 25, especially if you're not going to get one more usage of your cooldown. Wait until the boss is at execute phase and then pop your cooldowns. You're going to do a lot more damage, all right? So 49-minute video. I need to stop having so many long videos, but I feel like it's good. I feel like it's good talk. So thank you everybody for all of the questions. Thank you for contacting me. I am going to get back to you if you guys ask me questions. It's just going to take some time because there's a couple of people that you know, they hit me up through Discord or through the game and they ask me questions, and you know, I'm trying to get back to everybody. So one last thing. This is very important. I almost, thank God, I remembered. If you guys are sending me your damage breakdowns, right? There's two things. You send me your damage breakdown, okay, that's fine. I can tell you what's going on, but don't send me your TRL profile, your Tarisland logs profile. Guys, there could not be a more misleading way to gauge your damage than that website. And I'm going to explain to you why. Number one, the website is not a live update website. You can't just live log fights and see what's going on. So you can't really see, like, let's take Shark, for example, right? You can't really see in this game who is doing the most boss damage. You know what I mean? Like, anybody who knows about this game knows what's going on in Shark. Everybody knows that you see that duel player on 8k and everybody else is at 6.2. And then when the ad spawns, the duel player is at like 7.5 and everybody else is at 8k. Everybody knows what's going on there, right? Everybody knows. The duel spec is really bad at padding. That's what's going on there. And everybody else is really good at padding. But you can't just check logs, or at least I don't know how to, and be able to identify who is actually hitting the boss and who is actually just hitting the ads and padding. You understand what I'm saying? So also, you can't check as far as the ancient tree goes. That's one of the most misleading fights of all time. Because first off, if you're a melee player, you are at the mercy of the ranged player. If the ranged player wants to take the beam, ranged player will take the beam, and you can't do anything about it because you are a melee player. You have to hit the boss. You have to stay at boss range, right? The ranged player can just yoink that beam from range, and you can't do anything about it. So if you have low damage on tree and you're never grabbing stacks, don't feel bad about it. You just didn't grab stacks. You know what I mean? Like, you just focus on your boss damage. Don't pay attention to that TRL page so much. The second reason is people farm parses. People farm parses. I promise you, people farm parses, because I have looked on the team up thing, and there are groups that have in their title parse. They're trying to get their god pulls in so that they have high numbers in the page. And I don't have anything against that. It's just that if you're going to gauge your DPS, measuring yourself up to people that are forming groups that allow them to get 20 stacks of the beam on tree, they're obviously going to do a lot of damage. In World of Warcraft, for example, if you scale it to World of Warcraft, epic difficulty would be mythic difficulty. In World of Warcraft, you only get to kill that boss once per week, and that is your parse. You're not going to farm the boss until you get a good parse. No. You killed that boss that 1 week, that is your parse. And also, the good thing about World of Warcraft is that your parse, your best parse, is always going to be the parse that stays. You're not going to go down in the rankings because, you know what I mean? Because the people got more gear and then they went to the fight with more gear and they just overgeared the fight, so everybody has high damage. That does not happen like that in World of Warcraft. You don't lose your parse. In World of Warcraft, if you parsed a 96 on week 1, you are keeping that 96 until you get a better parse for the week that you were parsing in. In this game, you can have a rank 4 worldwide parse on Shark, and then in 2 weeks, people farm Shark, and now all of a sudden you are rank 37. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not something that you really pay attention to in terms of this is the ultimate measurement bar. This is the standard. No. People manipulate that page a lot with their parses and their farming of the bosses. So don't feel bad if you are low ranked. Just make sure that you are doing your rotation correctly and know that people are farming those bosses until they get the god pull in. That's fine. I don't have anything against it. Since the beginning of history, people like to do big damage. So I don't have anything against it. I'm not trying to call anybody out. I'm just saying for the people that are worried about their ranking in the TRL page, don't even worry about that. That does not mean anything. I rarely ever pay attention to that page. So, I think with that being said, 56-minute video. This is pretty much an hour-long video. But yeah, I will put timestamps on the video so you guys can look at whatever you guys want to look at. And yeah, I will post probably some more videos. There's some challenge modes that I have thrown around there. I still haven't uploaded them. I'm probably going to do it little by little. Maybe get some Archdruid action when he comes out. I really want to fight Spider and Dragon. And so, yeah, feel free to comment if I missed something and it was important. Feel free to let me know whether you guys think 512 is better or 503 or whatever, because I'm still not sure. But please don't sell your gear before you get access to every 110 gear. Then commit to whatever you want to do. All right? Peace out, everybody. GG's.